Podstock.
Hello, everyone, and it is here. Football season is back with us. Week 1. Washington takes on the Gents from New York. Very exciting show to guys. We made it through another off season. I think we did a great job this off season.
Hey, yeah, absolutely. In the infamous words of entertainers everywhere, this was our best season ever.
Their best off season ever. Yes.
By the way, our fourth cast member is here. He is sitting beside me looking out the window. So there will be times, he's very tired, but he will chime in when, we deem it appropriate, or he deems it appropriate.
My fourth cast member here, aka my wife, is passed out in our bedroom after having surgery on her hand today, so she's all drugged out and asleep.
She's technically not a cast member because she's never made an appearance. Wherein Kobe the dog
she yelled at me once on the show and it got on the air. That's I think.
Oh, did it? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Was that a long time ago?
Yes. It was like year 2.
Oh, okay.
And last week was a one-time only appearance by our new puppy, and she's fast asleep in my wife's arms, so you won't see her today.
There you go.
Kobe's is resting his head on the window ledge out here, so looking out the window.
Just like my wife, but my wife's on like sleeping pills.
The hoochie squirrel will make an appearance here shortly, I'm sure, maybe.
Maybe. All right, guys. Lot to get into. Well, not really, because it's Washington's not a tumultuous team anymore, but. We do have a game preview.
Admit it was kind of more fun when it was, though, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a lot more entertaining, that's for sure.
A lot easier. It killed us. Like, every year we would just watch our numbers decline, and that's not because we're bad at our jobs.
Silence. No, listen. We've gotten pretty good at this. We have our thing, right. And yes, I think what we can testify to here is that the fan base got destroyed over about the first 5 or 6 years. See, Kobe agrees.
Oh, for sure.
And it was because Dan Snyder was so toxic that the fan base just got really, really tired of it. And we can see that in our numbers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We saw that for years. And they're slowly ticking back up now. But, anyway, we're not talking about numbers here.
Well, we are talking about numbers, but we need to move on.
Yes, let's move on. Let's talk about some other numbers. Steve, it is the start of the season. Why don't we start with just giving fans a reminder of where Washington sits in terms of cap space? You said you just finished recalculating everything. Steve's always the best at this. Don't trust Spotrac or whatever weird black market site you use. Is there another site other than Spotrac?
There's a couple, 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, yes, I use Over the Cap sometimes. Spotrac. There's a couple others. Yeah. So what I do is I combine all these together because sometimes one site has one contract, one doesn't have the other, and sometimes they have different numbers, and I'll either calculate it myself, and so I do stand by what I. Right. Stand by my numbers, and I'm not going to go into huge detail here, but I got the
now a real quick question though.
Yeah.
Did Alex go over your math?
Oh, right. That is a fair question because apparently
a very fair question.
Last week when I counted up the wins and losses, I said Steve.
Yeah, that's right. I confessed to that. It's I predicted all the games win-losses. I stand by. What I did was count wrong. And so my overall record was actually 9-8 for Washington this year, not 10-7. Alex was right, and I was like, "No, you're dumb." It was 10, but actually it was me.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just assumed I wrote down a win or a loss wrong.
No, you didn't. It was me just being,
being you, Steve being Steve.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, Washington's got a little over 18 million in cap space here. Total, and I updated the roster for the regular season and the salary cap page for the regular season. And so what I'll do here is rather than going through all this, the defensive line occupies about 16% of the total available cap space. The linebackers as a whole are at 10.75%. The corner
that surprises me that we're spending that much on linebackers because I feel like we have very little linebacker depth.
Well, yeah, but there's some people have big contracts. You know.
Yeah, I guess so.
The corner group's at 9.39, the safety group's at 4, so that puts the DBs at 13%. So on the defensive line is winning by a mile. Tight ends are at 4, almost 4.5%, and then the O-line together, the O-line is at just under 16%, and Kobe is strongly opposed to that.
Yes. I don't know why. See, this is why Kobe, he's not a legacy fan if he's opposed to spending money on the O-line.
I think he's just trying to be, judicious with the expenditure of the money. That's all it is.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. And then
the squirrel is back, is what we're hearing right now.
I don't know what he's looking. It's actually dark. I don't know what he's looking. He may be looking at himself in the reflection. Wide receivers at 9.3%. Running backs at 2.7%, quarterbacks at 6%, and then the specialists are at 2.4%. So there is salary cap.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. 18. That's a lot of room that they could play with if they needed to through the season.
It's a little bit more than they normally keep. They'll normally keep a little bit less than that. I think the point here is that the defensive line is at the highest expenditures on the team, but it still has open questions like we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Where are the pass rushers? And I'm counting Von Miller as a linebacker just for the record. Because the team lists him as a linebacker.
That would boost it.
It would go way up with Von Miller. Yeah. But the team lists him as a linebacker, so I'm counting him as a linebacker.
Right.
Now,
the team did release a depth chart.
To keep an eye on this with how all cap is, they're keeping a little more than normal. And I believe it was year 2 in the Lynch and Kyle Shanahan era in San Francisco when they started getting things situated. I think it was actually the offseason they made the trade. I don't think it was in season, but that's where they made that big trade for Christian McCaffrey. You could see something kind of sizing up. Maybe if they are a bit ahead of the scale or they need something to get that season going, you could see a pretty big trade deadline type of move. It doesn't happen very often, but something to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah, I mean, look, I could design a contract. I've designed lots of contracts, as we all know, over the years, and I could come up with a contract that gets almost anybody under like 10 million or so for a 1-year cap hit.
Right.
Give me any contract, I bet you I could get under 10 million if you give me enough years. Sure. And so I mean, yes, they save space, but I don't think they're saving space in this specifically for a big trade. They could be, but I think they know they could pull it off no matter what. If I can do it, they can do it. I mean, maybe. Right. I'm really smart, so who knows? But I'm joking. No, I'm not.
Well, no, you're not. You are of above average intelligence, Steve. We all know that. So I am looking at the team's depth chart because they did release their depth chart. Now I saw when they released it online, they listed Austin Ekeler as the number 1 running back. That was the only kind of wild card we were waiting for. I think we had a feeling
because he's the veteran. We knew it was going to be Ekeler.
Here's the thing. When I'm looking at the official depth chart on their website, Eckler's listed as second, and no one's listed as the first running back, which is funny.
I thought that was very odd. Yeah.
I'm assuming this is just somebody having trouble with spreadsheets and not knowing how to delete a row.
Unless it's a ghost, the ghost of Walter Payton is going to return or something.
Let's just be honest. Shane Daniels is our number 1 quarterback and running back.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Statistically, that is true.
Yes.
Well, what's a bit interesting on the running backs is that the depth chart shows Krosky Merritt being number 4. Mm-hmm. But yesterday and today, he's been taking pretty much all the RB2 snaps. He's been taking more snaps than McNichols and Rodriguez so far. So that kind of just shows you there's probably a lot of flexibility going on. I'll be curious to know if they're going to go with all four in this game, or if one of them is going to wind up sitting down, and which one that might be. My guess would be probably Jeremy McNichols. I would think they'll let sit. I'm sorry, not McNichols. Chris Rodriguez, because McNichols is a special teams guy, and I don't know if that'd be smart putting Krosky Merritt over Rodriguez, but
I don't know. I mean, Rodriguez been here for several seasons now.
Yeah.
I mean, Krosky Merritt, the truth, I know fans love him, but as you pointed out, Dave, last week, he had one good run.
Yeah.
And that was it. He didn't really impress me. I mean, I told you guys, out there, when I watched this film, I saw a guy who could take advantage of massive holes created by really bad defenses. And to his credit, he did it, but if it were me, I would, and you had to, because I don't think they can activate 4 running backs. I think you're right. I would do Rodriguez personally. Because you're right.
Personally, I would.
I mean, it's got to be.
Yeah. I think it's going to be tricky for them to not have all 3 active, though, because McNichols really isn't a running back. Like, you're not expecting him to carry the ball at all. You're expecting him to go play special teams. That's his job. He's listed as a running back just by default. You could list him as a wide receiver. It wouldn't matter with McNichols because he's not seeing the offensive field unless there's an emergency. It is going to be tricky to see who they bench. That's one of those little things that some fans hate it. I always have kind of liked that aspect of
it's just another strategy element to the game. That's why they do it. And McNichols had 55 carries last year. It's not
that's
like
true. He did
carries.
have some.
Yeah,
he did have some. You're right.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there on offense. On defense, the only kind of surprise was, and it wasn't a surprise, but listing Von Miller as a linebacker, not a defensive end, like you were saying, Steve. I thought it was a little interesting that Kinlaw was moved to defensive tackle because they'd been listing him as a defensive end in preseason a lot. I
pay much attention. That's interesting.
I noticed that a few times. I mean, they said they were also going to do that they wanted him to play that strong end role,
right,
a lot, and I'm sure he will. Depth charts are only, just on paper.
Right.
They move guys around, but yeah.
And by the way, is this depth chart an official depth chart or is this an unofficial depth chart?
It's an official one as far as.
No, even the one listed on the
Washington
Ward's website is unofficial, right?
Yeah.
The one that I texted is the same one that Alex did. One I actually came from Ben Standing, so I'm assuming that should be pretty close to. And John Keim confirmed it. I'm pretty sure that's probably what the official depth chart or the closest official depth chart we're going to get so far.
No, okay. So the answer to my question is in Standing's tweet. This is the unofficial week 1 depth chart. So this is not something released by the coaching staff. This is released by like the PR staff based on what they're observing, just to be clear.
And let's also be clear. Teams really don't have a depth chart. It's not a baseball lineup. They don't do it that way. Like they know who their starters will be and who's going to play the most. And they know who's going to, be active, but you're rotating everybody in. You're moving guys around all the time now. Football's very positionless at certain areas. Is Von Miller a linebacker or a defensive end? No, he's just a rusher. It doesn't really matter what you call him outside.
Well, you have to put him somewhere, but
yeah, exactly. It only seemingly matters for where they get voted to for the Pro Bowl in the end. And the Pro Bowl, no one cares about anymore. So, there's that part.
NFL has ruined the Pro Bowl, but that's another subject.
That is another subject. They did it in such spectacular fashion, ruined it. So, the team's official depth chart, overall or unofficial depth chart, overall, not a lot of surprises this season.
No.
They did announce that who's it? Is it Wiley's going to start at right guard? I don't have that depth.
No, Connolly. I think it is. I think it's actually Connolly.
Well, you said guard. So guard. Connolly is
guard.
Right.
My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. Yeah, guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, between him or Allegretti, I think he has the. I think Wiley has the edge.
Yeah.
Over him, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting because let's be honest, and we'll get into the game preview. That line is going to get tested versus New York. Because if there's one strength for the Giants, it is their defensive line. Yeah, man. I don't know if we want to just get into it with those guys.
Yeah, let's get into the game preview because
yeah.
you know what. So for those of you who are new to this, we babble nonsensically in the off season about whatever topics of the day come up, but ever since we went to one show a week, what we normally do during the year is we will review the game that happened and then preview the next game, and that takes sort of the entire hour.
Right.
And so that's what we're starting here, obviously, is with week one. So that's
right. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to recap, which always makes the first week the hardest in the regular season in a little way.
But again, like we've always said, you give us an hour, we could talk about literally anything.
Oh, sure. All right. So Washington, let's start with what is going to be the most exciting thing. Washington's offense versus this Giants defense. These are both teams' strengths, respectively. Man, that D-line does scare you. With Lawrence and Thibodeaux there. There is just constant pressure from New York, and they don't even have to blitz. They can bring pressure from 3-4 guys. If there's one thing the Giants have always done right, it's building good lines and rushing the passer, man.
Just first of all, generally, I think a lot of people are drastically underestimating the Giants this year. Drastically. A lot of fans are kind of writing them off because the Giants have been lousy. But specifically as to the defense, I mean, because we'll get to their offense, this may be the most talented and scary defensive line Washington faces all year. Yeah. I mean, you could throw Denver in there, I guess. But Kayvon Thibodeaux, Dexter Lawrence, Nunez Roches, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter is a backup.
Yeah,
think about that. He's pass rushing specialist. I mean, that is a scary, scary defensive front, and I think it's a huge challenge for an offensive line with Washington that has not paid at all.
No. Yeah.
Kobe agrees.
Yes. It is going to be a huge challenge. And Dave, you got a rookie tackle. You got somebody swapping in at right guard. I assume you put a tight end over there to help quite a lot this week.
Well, I think that's where the emergence of John Bates blocking this year so far could very well come to aid on this offensive line, because you're pretty much going to need all hands on deck with this one, and you guys alluded to it already with that defensive front. But what people don't also realize is that their secondary wasn't that bad last year. The secondary was pretty good. I think, Banks took a pretty considerable drop off from his first half of the year last year. But I think all in all, their secondary is going to benefit from this pass rush, and they're an opportunistic secondary. So Bates is going to definitely have his work cut out for him. You're going to have this is where I think, if they were to start Krosky Merritt, I think they probably make a mistake, because Rodriguez can offer for a much pass blocking running back. McNichols you might see in quite a bit, because he's a very, very good pass blocking back. You need to have as many guys in there to protect Daniels as possible. I wouldn't be surprised we see a lot of double tight formations. We see a lot of Eckler and McNichols in the same backfield. So you can keep one in the block, the one go out to the flat for a dump off while you try to get these receivers open. A lot of jet sweeps. Not a lot of jet sweeps, but you're definitely going to see a lot of movement with Deebo Samuel to try to get this defense to spread out and use some misdirection, because even though they got a great pass rush and so forth, you have to understand you have Abdul Carter is a very, very fast, quick twitch speed rusher. Burns, mirror image of that too. So yeah, those two guys on the outside edge right there. If you don't get them thinking, second guessing, and give them a half a step delay, this could be a very, very long day for Jaden Daniels, because he's not going to outrun all of these pass rushers.
And I'd like to point out that their number one corner is Paulson Adebo, who came from New Orleans. I think it's a decent matchup for Terry McLaurin to kind of get reintegrate back into football over.
Right.
Yeah.
Folks barking at a dog at this point. People.
Yeah. Yeah. There's, like you guys are saying, man. This defense. There's a few holes here and there. Like I think the inside linebackers. McFadden's good. Not like you got to be aware of him. You're not scared of him.
Right.
So maybe you're taking a lot of advantage of the tight ends in the passing game, which always useful to have those quick pass options versus a good D line like this. Yeah, man. Like they're one. It's tricky when you're facing a good defense because you don't know what changes they're making this season. Like you haven't really seen how they're going to play, even if you watched all preseason long. No one tells anything in preseason.
Right.
So that's going to be tricky. I think you got to play it safe, especially the first half. Probably a lot more conservative play calling against a defense like this. But you brought up Deebo. One of those classic ways you can counter a good defensive line. Get those east-west plays going. Get them tired out early, right?
Yep.
Like that.
Well, what I would look for, and I don't know if everybody can really appreciate exactly how loud it's been in my little office here for the past about 2 minutes.
It's been very loud.
Yeah.
Well, I've been muted, on the mic, but there were 3 dogs walking past, which set off major alarm bells. But I think what I would try to do, I think they need to try to get Terry McLaurin isolated in one-on-one press man situations. That's really what he's best at. He is a burner. He's really good in contested situations. I don't know if Paulson Adebo is at the level of some of these other guys that they're going to face this year.
Right.
Out there, because there's some really good corners out there this year, and I don't know if he's their number one guy, so he's going to get McLaurin more often than not. But I think if I were game planning this team, that would be my goal, is to get him isolated, and that would open up the secondary, which is going to cause probably some of their linebackers to drop back. That's all what I would do with this. But I am. My big fear with this game is, the Giants' defensive front has played together for a long time. They know what they're doing. Abdul Carter's only going to add to it. Washington's offensive line has spent 0 moments, zero, together, all 5 of them on the field.
Right.
And that,
not in real game.
And that's Dan Quinn's fault. But Washington has at time. They look bad in the game 1 last year.
And see, and the one luxury we have going into this game and this type of matchup is our offensive coordinator, because if this was Eric Bieniemy and his long developing plays and trying to stretch the field often, Jaden Daniels would have been destroyed in his pocket. At least Cliff Kingsbury, he's going to understand that. He's going to utilize a lot of the quick passing game and misdirection early and often to try to do, like you said, Alex, get guys moving east to west, try to get them tired out, using Deebo, like I said, as misdirection, and then getting the quick passing game going, like you said, Steve, with McLaurin on the outside. That's your best option to try to get this defense to spread out, wear down quick. And because offensively, what the Giants have, I don't think they have enough firepower to keep up with what Washington potentially has to do, for one, and for two, they don't have the offensive line to establish the kind of protection you're going to need for Russell Wilson to get Malik Neighbors open downfield like they tried to do so often last year. But we'll get to the offense here shortly. But yeah, as far as we had that one luxury in this game, I'm confident about with Cliff Kingsbury, and I think he will do enough in this game to get us at least ball control, get us in a situation to get points on the board, and to help wear down that defense so we get to the second half and maybe
they're going to have to have, quick passes, short drop backs, screens. They have to in this, because the Giants can just get way too much pressure on this offense if it's long developing plays, and Kingsbury knows that.
Yeah, sure. And I think what you're describing there is also going to be kind of their game plan for a lot of the season anyway. Just the way they're built with Ekeler, with Deebo, like this is going to be a quick pass, get yards after the catch type team by design. Not as a limitation, as a that's what those guys are good at, so do it.
Right, exactly.
Eckler's a better receiver out of the backfield than probably 30 other, if you were to list the top 30,
I don't know, he's up there.
He's top. Yeah. He's got to be top 5 of all receiving running backs. Deebo is such a unique weapon. We all know that.
Listen, you don't oversell Deebo Samuel. He's a name. Okay. The truth is that the 49ers traded him away for a reason. And the reason is he wasn't performing at a really high level in the past couple years in San Francisco. And San Francisco's a quality team too.
Well, I think what Alex is mostly alluding to, and I agree with, is that the defense has to still account for him in the run game, in the quick screens, a quick passing game. I mean, he may not be back to 2021 form, and you could very well be right about that, most likely, especially the last few years you've seen. But you still have to account for that. And defenses are going to be forced to do that, especially if you play off a lot of misdirection with jet sweeps and so forth. So, I mean, I think there's a role that Deebo will play that will affect this game.
Of course, there's a role.
Now, will it be like the 2021 form?
No.
Probably not.
I don't think the defenses are going to take a tremendous amount of steps to account for Deebo Samuel. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think the fans see him as a name. I think the coaches see him what he's put out on film the past couple of years. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm sure that's the case. I don't think they're going to try and get him 15, 20 touches. I think that he's a guy you try to get the ball to 5 to 10 times a game still.
Sure. Yeah.
And those are gonna you can do it 5 to 10 different ways somehow. That's the fun thing with them. All right, let's switch sides. Let's talk about that Giants offense versus Washington's defense. There's really only one threat in New York at this point. That's the wide receiver, Jaden Daniels' best friend, Malik Nabers. Yeah. You look at the rest of this roster. They have some names on that O-line now with Andrew Thomas and John Runyon, but they're more names. The offensive line still isn't going to wow you, I don't think. They're doing some interesting stuff at quarterback, but that's more of a long-term thing with Jackson Dart. Having Russell Wilson start this year, I assume if Wilson were to go down for an extended period, it would be Winston. I assume Dart's not.
I don't know. Really, I mean, the media, the New York media seems to really like Jackson Dart. I would point out that Darius Slayton's more maybe of a name at this point, but Wan'Dale Robinson had 93 receptions last year. And so you can't just write him off. I mean, the Giants actually have a pretty talented group of starting wide receivers. I don't necessarily think they have a great running game.
No,
necessarily, and their tight ends aren't anything to write home about, but the receivers are scary. And the thing about Russell Wilson is that, yes, he's a shadow of himself from the glory days in Seattle for sure. However, he's also a step up from Daniel Jones and that replaced him last year.
DeVito or something?
Thank you. Him, DeVito. Yes. Right. And so they are going to be better under Russell Wilson. Wilson actually took a step up last year statistically in Pittsburgh than he did the year before with the Broncos. Not saying he's what he used to be, but I'm saying he played a little bit better, than he did the year before. And say what you will about him, but he's a step up from what they had. And so I think the Giants offense actually is a little bit scarier. That scary is the wrong word. It's a little bit more capable than some people give them the credit for. That's why I think the Giants have a potential of being decent this year.
Yeah, well, I think from what you said, the receivers is fair, and I get it. But their biggest issue is that offensive line. There's a chance that Andrew Thomas won't even sue for this game. He's dealing with an injury right now. And this offensive line, they were I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they were ranked, I think, 29th in sack percentage allowed last year, and they were ranked 28th in yards allowed per run. And if you don't give Russell Wilson time in that pocket to process the defense, I mean, he doesn't have the same mobility he had back in Seattle, and there's enough that you can get him on the loose and on the run. You cut that field down to 1/3, and now all of a sudden you eliminate one of them receivers if you're able to generate that pass rush, which is a big question on the defense, which is what we're going to see this week. As far as their running backs, Tyrone Tracy is a guy that's got a lot of upside, a lot of potential. He's a speed guy. He's a guy who could definitely take it to the house. But that he was very inconsistent last year, and this offensive line isn't doing him any favors. Cam Skattebo is a nice power back. It's a rookie, obviously, and I mean, I think it's a nice 1-2 punch, but nothing is going to really get going for the Giants offensively if this offensive line does not hold up in the trenches. And say what you want about our defensive front. I get it. I got the same concerns and questions, but I think their offensive line is worse than what our defensive front is. I think we can get some pressure on Wilson.
Well, particularly if Andrew Thomas doesn't play.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, particularly that. I think Russell Wilson still tries to play like he did in Seattle, and he was famous in Seattle for like extending plays out to ridiculous lengths.
He was the king of like the rollout deep bomb pass.
Oh my God, it was I studied his film once who was the receiver Washington had from Seattle.
I forget who. It's on
that
my
guy.
Tongue, but
you're talking about.
Yeah. And I mean, it's to the point where he would you had to have a very specific type of receiver to work with Russell Wilson. You had to have someone who could improvise because of the way Wilson operates. So I think he's going to play like he plays. Yeah, but to your point, he's not the same as he was, but he's going to try to be the same as he was.
Right.
And so it could go wrong. And that's why I think Washington ultimately has an advantage in this.
Mm-hmm.
Is for that reason, but I think he can't not be better than Daniel Jones and DeVito, whatever his name was, not Danny DeVito.
Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. Yeah, not
Tommy
Danny.
DeVito.
Tommy, yes.
Danny DeVito probably wouldn't be a very good quarterback.
Now the height just is too much of a problem.
He's like 5 feet tall. Yeah.
He's not even.
I mean, he may be about Dave's height.
Oh no, I stand like Shaquille O'Neal next to him.
Yeah. You got to remember Danny DeVito's also 80, so he's probably shrunk since
osteoporosis. Damn.
Yeah.
Is Danny DeVito 80?
Yep. And he's still doing Always Sunny in Philadelphia and loving it, and
I didn't know he'd done anything since Cheers.
Oh, he also Danny DeVito wasn't on Cheers.
He was right. He was on Cheers wasn't he?
No,
a guest on Cheers fairly
he
regularly?
Might have done one episode.
Maybe, I guess, but
no, he was on Taxi. That was his show,
which is way before all of our times.
Yes. Well, is that before your guys' times? Taxi?
Yes.
This is in the 70s, right?
I don't remember if it was late 70s, early 70s. I don't remember. Yeah.
So I think it was late 70s. I think it went I think it went like a couple years into the 80s, but it was mostly a 70s show, I believe.
Oh, okay. Yes, that was Danny DeVito's show. That was when he was hip and young. Now, he was married to the woman from Cheers, Steve. That's probably what
you're but I think he made some guest appearances on Cheers. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
I'll have to Google that later.
I don't know. It's not that important.
Yeah. Here's my thing about Russell Wilson. He does try to play like he used to. Last year, he ran the ball 43 times for 155 yards. He can't. He's just not mobile anymore like he used to be. And like, I think that plays into it a lot. That plays into his game tremendously because he's a shorter guy. We saw it with Drew Brees. When Drew Brees couldn't get outside the pocket anymore, he was done. And he knew it too. I think Wilson, good for him giving it one more shot here, but he's got to be realistic. Like, this is going to be his fourth team. I will be shocked if he plays the whole season.
And Danny DeVito is, in fact, 80. He will turn 81 in November.
And he did not guest star on Cheers at all, not a single episode.
Danny, am I just totally wrong about that? Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. Who you're confusing him with is...
Clearly, I don't.
Yes, there was another guy who looked... There was another very famous short actor from that period who did a lot of episodes of Cheers.
How many famous short actors are there?
They're like 6.
Okay. I don't know. No, I really don't remember.
Yeah.
And there was some short person.
Yeah. I don't remember what that guy's name is either, but yes, there were other famous short people on Cheers. Because they all wanted to hook up with Rita Perlman or whatever.
Another very short person.
Yes.
Rhea Perlman, yeah.
Yes. Who was
the waitress on Cheers, or one of the waitresses.
Right. And it is Danny DeVito's wife.
Yes. Or was. I don't know if they're still married or whatever.
They are.
Yeah. Those two certainly made for each other.
Yep. My favorite Family Guy joke ever. Danny DeVito proposing to Rhea Perlman. It's either me or nobody. All right, let's get back on track here. This offense. So what do we do about these receivers? Because that's obviously the threat, right? Is you got to shut down this passing attack, and I think it really comes down to a good game where you're stymieing these guys. Do you just put someone on an island with Malik Nabers and hope for the best?
Absolutely not. No, of course not. Because for one thing, I mean, if you're going to do that, it would probably be Marshawn Lattimore, presumably, I guess.
Right.
But
he would want it to be.
Yeah, well, I mean, can you really trust him? I mean, I know he's gotten some positive reviews in the preseason and whatnot. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. But in my eyes, this is the problem. You can't blitz a ton if you're going to drop more people back in coverage, right? This is a math problem. And but they don't really have enough talent in the defensive line to just get a ton of pressure absent blitzing, linebackers blitzing. But I think you have to make an effort to double Malik Nabers. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can leave him in press man coverage very much. I think that'd be a mistake.
Well, I think the Giants' lack of tight end is going to help a bit in terms of what we have available for blitzing wise. And I think one of the keys in this game that I look at is actually Jordan McGee when he's on the field, if he's on the field, because he has the ability to cover, he has the ability to blitz, and he's fairly good against the run. If he plays at anywhere near his potential and he can give Von Miller, the breather they need, the rest, that he would require so he's not on the field too long, I think that's where it would benefit us because that would reciprocate to Von Miller with fresher legs. And he can, we're not talking Denver Von Miller, I know that, but he still has something left in his tank. And if you keep him as fresh as possible throughout this game, he can help disrupt that passing game a lot more and get Russell Wilson out in the move quicker and disrupt that pocket a little bit more. That's really the only way you're going to get true pass rush. I know Luvu is going to be part of the pass rush too as well, but you got to have that secondary guy that can come in and out as well. So I'm hoping Jordan McGee becomes a viable part of this defense. It gives Von Miller a chance to be fresh later in the game.
Yeah, because Von Miller is clearly a passing down only type of player.
Yes,
at this point.
Right. And if he's got to play too many downs, that's going to hurt you more than anything else.
I just don't think you can count on a guy like that to be some sort of, terrorist back there at his age.
No.
He's like an additional supplement, basically. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see.
Well, no, you're right. That's why I'm looking for Jordan McGee and seeing what he can do and stay on the field
who's an unproven talent, really.
Correct,
at
right.
This point.
Yes. So
This is why I think, it's all a system, and it becomes exponentially harder if they can't get pressure on a quarterback in a situation like this, because then you are going to find Malik Neighbors one-on-one on some of these guys. And I got news for you. They're going to try to line him up against Trey Amos as much as possible. The guy's a rookie. That is what NFL coaches do. And it's even though I know I said Marshon Lattimore, but the Giants will make every effort to match him up in press man coverage on Trey Amos until Amos proves himself.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're definitely right there. Is that would be what I would do. Even though I am very confident that Amos is going to be a good corner for Washington, he's unproven. So let's see him prove it first, right? Like, yeah, that would probably be the Giants' game plan. You're right. I feel good about, covering a good slot receiver, so I'm not too worried about Robinson in this one. It's really just about those outside guys in the end.
So here's what I think the keys to the game are. I normally do 3, I did 4. One, the obvious one is they need to shake off the rust, because the first teamers haven't played at all. But which version of Russell Wilson are we going to get? Are we going to get one that's a shadow of himself, or are we going to get one that can actually do things like we've talked about? The controlling the Giants' defensive front, we've already talked about that. On offense, Washington has to figure out how to get a decent run game going that does not include Jane Daniels. And that's true for the entire season, by the way.
Right.
The key matchups here, I think, one, what we just talked about, Malik Neighbors and Darius Slayton versus Marshon Lattimore and Trey Amos. I think one highlight matchup that the fans will like to see is Laramie Tunsil. He's going to probably be matched up on Kayvon Thibodeau, I would think, most of the day. But we haven't seen him play at all. That's an exciting one. And the other one to keep an eye out is, like I mentioned before, is McLaurin versus Paulson Adebo, because I think that's a decent matchup for McLaurin for like his first game, first real time on the field at all. So I think those are the matchups and the key things to watch to me.
Yeah. Yep. Obviously, there's not going to be a lot of injuries right now. I'd written that down as a note.
I got it. It's so the injury report here is Zach Ertz had a rest day Wednesday. Dorrance Armstrong, Noah Brown, Jonathan Jones, all limited. Matt Gay, the kicker, was sick. He listed as full. Marcus Mariota still has an Achilles. And Andrew Thomas was the only player listed on the Giants with a foot injury. So there you go. I listed as limited.
Matt Gay was sick, eh? Uh-oh.
Yes.
We don't need a hungover kicker. That's all we need.
I didn't say he was hungover. I said he was sick.
Sick is always code word for hungover. These are pro athletes. They never actually get sick.
Maybe Matt Gay doesn't drink. Who knows?
I don't know. Well, he is a Mormon, so maybe not.
Oh, he is?
No.
Yep.
Then maybe he's really sick then.
He's part of the Mormon gays, like that family.
I don't know what to make of that, if that's a joke or not. But
it was a bad joke. It's fine. All right, we have some time here, so why don't we talk about two of the national stories that
before
happened.
we do that, we haven't made game predictions.
So right. I'm rusty.
We're trying to get back. I know.
Yeah.
I'll go first since I brought it up. I think Washington wins. This is going to be a much closer game than fans want. I think the Giants defense are going to hold Washington back somewhat, but I think for the reason we discussed, I think Washington squeaks one out 24-21.
Yeah, okay. That defensive front is going to be very tough to manage, but I think ultimately it's going to come down to the fact that I think our defense is going to take advantage of some opportunities against their offense. And I'm predicting a defensive touchdown in this game. And I think we win this game 23-16.
23. So that's an interesting number.
Bunch of field goals.
Yep. Yeah, I guess so. All right. I feel good about our offense right off the bat. I do. I think that the offense is going to kind of continue or start off closer to where it was at the end of last season. I do think the Giants are better. So I think this is going to be a higher scoring game. I think this is going to be like a 35-28 game for some reason. It's just going to throw everyone off. But Washington wins, of course. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's where you guys are at. All right, let's talk about some of these national stories. The one Dave is most mad about: NFL Red Zone. All these changes that are coming, they're adding commercials now to Red Zone. Here's my question. So they're going to make a ton more money on Red Zone by adding commercials. That's how capitalism works. I get that.
Does everybody understand that ESPN now owns Red Zone?
Right. Right.
Well, we did a story on this on It's Just Business. ESPN owns.
Yes, we talked about that.
I thought they only got the rights to use the word Red Zone, but the NFL Network still controls the NFL Red Zone.
Well, no, ESPN owns Red Zone. It'll be that stuff will still be produced by, like, the NFL Network stuff is produced by the NFL, but ESPN owns it. So you're going to see Red Zone for college, possibly other things.
Right.
I just mean, so what Dave's mad about is there's going to be commercials there. I mean, does it really matter? I mean, you'd be watching commercials. You'd be watching commercials if you were watching the game in whole as a whole. What's the difference?
It actually, I laugh because there are people that were showing like doing videos made up to where it's like they show, okay, you're watching the Red Zone, a big play about ready to happen, something about ready to happen, all of a sudden they break right to a commercial and you actually missed a play, and it's a Burger King ad that pops up. It's
and you hear Whopper, Whopper, Whopper. Yep.
But obviously it's not going to be like that, because what they're going to do is they're going to just collapse the game up in the one side and put the commercial on the other side. So you're still going to see the actual games going on, but you'll hear the commercial going off for a little bit, and then the games are coming. So you won't miss any play action itself. But
I thought it was the other way. I thought they were getting rid of, or they were going to go full on like commercial breaks, all that.
No, I got to bring up exactly who brought that up again, but that was it's guy they got Ari. He's on the NFL Network. I can't say his name right.
Yeah.
But that's how he would describe it was going to end up being. But
it's
still going to be annoying. It's still going to be annoying because they're going to make the ad a larger screen to begin with. It's probably going to be just like one of them boxes up in the corner, and the rest is like 75% of the screen is going to be the actual commercial itself.
You know how you can get over yourself and not worry about this, right?
Just watch a normal football game?
Yeah, don't watch Red Zone. Don't be me and just be too cheap to buy Red Zone.
Yeah.
That's how you can get over it.
You could
I'm
do
just
that.
saying. Yeah.
You could.
I could do that.
But he doesn't want to.
If you don't want to watch the commercials, there you go. I'm giving you an option.
Actually, I'm going to give it a try, and if it's too bothersome, I barely watch NFL Network anyway. I might just get rid of the sports package, to be honest with you, anyway.
Yeah.
And just move away from it.
I mean,
there's a difference between Red Zone and NFL Network. Red Zone is a separate thing you got to buy.
Well, no, they're on the same sports package through my YouTube TV.
Oh, on yours? Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is, I understand why people are annoyed by it. The NFL's taking probably their most popular offering of the last 15 years, 20 years. I don't know how long Red Zone's been around now, but and they're making changes to something that everyone thinks is perfect or darn near perfect in terms of a broadcast.
Listen, they got to make money.
I get it.
People think this stuff is free. It's not.
So does this mean all the people producing Red Zone and all the camera people are going to get more money? Because that's how I think it should work. If you're getting more ad revenue, everyone should just get a little bump. Come on. About that.
Spoken like someone who doesn't understand business.
Yes, spoken like somebody who understands
like
quality of life. Yes.
An idealist.
Yep. All right. Other news, and this one kind of impacts our predictions that we had last week. The Micah Parsons trade. It happened, I think, the day after we put the show out. Parsons traded from the Cowboys to the Packers because Jerry Jones has lost it. He's lost the touch.
Given to the Packers.
Well,
what kind of
2 first-round picks is not nothing. I mean,
what kind of idiot is Jerry Jones? I don't
he's completely lost it, man. That's what I think.
What are you thinking? I mean, he's trading away a Hall of Fame player in his prime, the best defender probably in football. And yeah, 2 first-round draft picks, okay, but I don't think that's a player that you're not going to miss. He's going to have a tremendous impact on Dallas's defense. They can't replace him. I don't even know who their backup is, who's going to move up, but
doesn't
he's
matter.
a shell
there
of
is
Micah
no
Parsons.
Micah Parsons is a star outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever he is.
That is the one guy that Jerry Jones should have paid.
Yes.
And I can confirm with 100% factual evidence, I'll just say it that way, that this was a dumb move by Jones, because Skip Bayless came out and said that good riddance of Micah Parsons, we're not going to miss him, he's a detriment to the team, and yada yada yada.
That proves the case right there.
That right there proves the case 100% from Mr. Low Football IQ himself.
Yeah, the lowest of football IQs.
Yes.
Hey, by the way, if any Washington fan thought Dallas was going to trade him to Washington, you guys are lost your minds. That was never going to happen.
I mean,
never.
We would all be doing cartwheels, but it was.
Oh, of course, but I mean, that just was never a thing, and anybody ever thought that is delusional.
We have a better chance of me discovering a wormhole in my backyard than.
I think there probably are wormholes in your backyard, not the space wormholes, but there's worms digging holes.
That's true. That's true. There are those.
That's not a good analogy.
I meant the space wormholes.
We'll go with the black holes.
Okay.
Black holes.
All right. Yes, black hole. Also, if I discovered that, everyone would be dead. But that's another thing. Yes.
We'd all be sucked into a black hole because of the tremendous gravitational force. Yes.
Right. Instantly, and it would all be in my backyard.
And we wouldn't ever know there was a black hole because we'd all be dead.
Right, because that's how they work. It's wild. Black holes are fun. If you love science, black holes are one of the most fun science things. But anyway, Micah Parsons, what did he get? 188 million over 4 years or something
something like that. 180 something million, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just a flat 180 though. It was 180 and change. I remember
180 something, yeah.
Yeah. He's worth it, man. Like, he is that good of a player where I would say he is worth that big of a contract, because he makes such a good impact on your defense in terms of just wreaking havoc. Green Bay, this is going to be thought back of kind of like the Reggie White deal they got years ago when they first, and that was free agency, I know, but
yeah,
Parsons is going to have that kind of impact on Green Bay's defense, I think.
In last year's playoffs, man, that's what they were missing. That defense, that pass rush. I mean, granted now Jordan Love's got to step up, and we can go through the whole Packers. We're not going to do that, but I think right now they're primed to be in a position to challenge Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, Dave and I predicted Green Bay would beat Washington anyway, so that doesn't change that. And I predicted that Washington was going to split with Dallas. I'm going to maintain that.
Me too.
And Alex, I can't remember what you predicted.
I predicted Washington sweeps Dallas, which I'm definitely sticking with.
Okay.
And then I predicted Washington would beat Green Bay.
I would stick with that.
I would flip that now. I think Parsons gives Green Bay a good edge on defense.
I think the summary here is that Jerry Jones has lost his mind.
Yes. Jerry Jones, very senile and younger than Danny DeVito, I believe. I'm not.
Yeah, Jerry Jones is like late 70s or something, I think.
Yes.
And I believe those 2 first-round picks that he received are already considered reaches and busts already anyway. So
probably.
Oh no, Jerry Jones is 82. He's not in his 70s.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Green Bay's a decent team. That he's not trading him to like the Cleveland Browns,
right?
Who has a history of very high draft picks. Green Bay is a quality team that you just made better, and they're not going to be high draft picks, odds are, unless something goes horribly drastically wrong. And so you're going to get 2 mid at best, but probably fairly low first round picks for a Hall of Famer.
As much as it would probably mean something didn't happen for Washington, one of those first round picks is going to be like a 30, 30, 31, 32.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's a crazy trade. I don't blame Dallas fans for being mad.
No. Oh, no. I don't blame them for being mad. I am just saying 2 first round picks is not, at least they didn't get Trent Williams and get nothing for a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah, right.
Don't get me started on that.
Yeah. Because if we had gotten 2 first round picks for Trent Williams, you'd still be annoyed. But you could at least say, well, you could build around that.
Washington just handled them really terribly. Yeah,
they handled them so terribly. But yes, it's just that where my mind went in terms of like, when's the last time we traded a great player from here? That was the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but probably. It's also a matter of perspective, because if he stayed, then there's a chance in 2023 we win at least one more game because of him.
True.
And then we go from pick 2 to pick 4, and we don't have Jaden Daniels today.
No, that's true.
Trust me, I've been using this perspective with every fan on social media when they trash a Ron Rivera move and everything. I'm like, listen, man.
There's a whole movie about this. It's called The Butterfly Effect. You'll watch The Butterfly Effect and you'll understand what Dave's talking about.
But then you have to watch The Butterfly Effect. That's the problem.
I mean, true.
I did watch it.
The highlight of Ashton Kutcher's career.
I thought that was Married to Me More.
Is he still married to Demi Moore?
No. He divorced her and married one of his co-stars from that 70s show.
Oh, he did? Oh.
Yeah. Which is
must be
weird
nice to me, Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. To be fair, he has webbed toes supposedly. So like at least we all have we have better toes than Ashton Kutcher.
I'm sure he cares about that a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
That's Alex's claim to fame. Has better toes than Ashton Kutcher.
That's everyone's claims of fame.
I don't know, man. You ask my wife, she'll say hell no, because she hates my toes, so she'll like, no way. She'll take Ashton Kutcher over me probably.
I've not said one word about my toes on this show.
It's kind of like the old Don and Mike show used to have this slug line for when they started their show. They have more balls than Hitler, because Hitler famously only had one ball. So, you could always do that one too.
I'm going to leave that one alone.
All right. We are almost at an hour. And given that we didn't have a game to recap or any real news this week, I think we did a pretty good job overall.
Yeah, not bad.
Get through an hour on anything, you keep saying.
Yep. All right. So we did our game preview. You know what I haven't figured out? What am I eating for this game? I haven't, that's always...
Nobody but you cares, Alex.
Yeah, I know. Dave, what are you eating? You having anything good for the game? Steve's going to eat like kale or something, I'm sure.
I don't know. Usually my wife comes up with something quick. It's usually pretty good and throws it out there like an appetizer type of thing going on. And so we all usually plan as kind of like the in the moment type thing.
Aren't you going to this game? Isn't it in Washington?
No, I sold those tickets, remember?
Oh, you did? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, for an amount I didn't think I'd even remotely get, but I did.
That's right. Yeah. Right. And Alex, I mean, eat whatever you want.
I'm going
to eat whatever
advice. I want. That's what that. But
eat a hoagie. Isn't that a New York thing? A hoagie?
No, that's a Philly thing.
Is it? Okay. Pizza.
Hog Island.
Isn't there a New York style pizza? Do that.
Yes, that is a
there
style.
You go. That's my suggestion.
Maybe I'll get some Wise Guys. Wise Guys is good New York style pizza. So, all right, that'll be my plan. I'm just gonna get a large pizza and eat the whole thing during the game.
There you go. The most non-food person ever, me.
Yep. Thank you, Steve. All right, guys, we will talk next week as we hopefully recap a win.
Yes, sir.
All right, later.
Later.
All right.